Welcome. Hello. How's it going? This is Does This Work, a comedy podcast. My name is Jared, and I have two guests with me today for the first time ever. One who has been making a name for themselves in clubs everywhere, huge professional, and the other is her father. Welcome. Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for being my first multiple guests at once.
Yeah. Thank you for having us, Jared.
No problem. Yeah, didn't have to drive too far out of your way?
No, it wasn't. No. We don't live far from you.
Fantastic. All right, so I'm going to ask you both. It's going to be a bit of a back and forth, but the first question I ask everyone, start with you, Gareth, which is, why comedy?
Why did I start?
Yeah, or why in general? What drew you to it? Why'd you start? What was the catalyst?
I didn't really know. I've always liked comedy since I was young. I kind of watched it. And I remember watching my dad watching comedy, like when I was younger, like he'd be watching it on TV and stuff, and I'd sort of be sitting in the background watching. So I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed seeing the reaction that it gave other people. Didn't really understand it, to be honest. Like, especially when you're young, you see people making people laugh with a whole load of stuff that you don't understand because you're too young to understand most of it. But I think I had a thing where I watched it, but I didn't really. I suppose I would have liked to have done it when I was younger. But I would have, at the same time, probably not had life experience behind me that I've got now.
What age did you start?
I was 38.
Right, cool. No, it's cool. I started at 39.
Yeah, so it's a late time to sort of start in this, whereas they say it takes 10 years to get good at this, and I haven't even done it for 10 years, and I'm like past the age that comics get booked.
Yeah.
Like, so
I've heard differing things, like either you make it at like 20 or you make it at 40. There's like some of the because and everything in between. It's like you said, if you have life experience, you have assuredness about yourself and how you want to present yourself on stage. So it's like you don't have that sort of self-doubt and like self-consciousness that a lot of like 19, 20-year-olds might have if they're just starting out.
I'm not sure. Like, because I've got heaps of self-doubt. And I didn't start, like, a lot of people wrote a lot of material before they started. I just decided to do it. Yeah. Like, I sort of had this thing in me. I was like, you know what? I only live once, so I'm going to just do it. Like, I don't care now. My first gig was run by the Comedy Lounge, but it was a competition at the Curtin University. And I just entered it and turned up and just... I wrote a few little things down. I've lost all of that material because it was on the USB that broke.
Like the gist of it?
I had a whole load of material about underwear and the days of the week. Yeah. And I had no persona at that time. It was just, I've written this stuff out and I'm just going to talk it and tell it and see what happens. So that's how I started.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And Amy, what about yourself?
Well, I just like... My dad used to watch it all the time, still does, but I just like went up and said, like, I'm going to do it. And the first time I did it was at 50 First Jokes, but I was really nervous. Like, I was scared to go up, and I wasn't even sure if I wanted to go up because it's scary, but I went up and I did it.
And you did well your first time? Well enough that you've kept going.
Yeah.
I think that's all any of us have a first time.
But what do you think drew you to wanting to do it? I mean, you've had a lot of comedians around you from a young age.
Yeah. I grew up around like lots of comedians, like David Tuffley, Jumpy, him.
Oh, cool.
But I can't really remember. I was like, I just wanted to try something new.
So was there a conversation when you decided to try between you and your dad where you were like, I think I want to do this? Or was it more of an encouraging thing, like you've seen some comedy chops that you encouraged?
I can't really remember.
I can't remember either.
I don't know how it happened. It just happens.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I mean, like, what is it like? You go to school?
Yeah.
So what is it like going to school and telling your friends that you're like hanging out with like heavy hitter Perth comedians in clubs on the weekends?
So I don't really like tell them that.
Oh, you don't? Yeah, cool.
I don't like telling people that I do comedy yet, like until like something big happens, you know?
Yeah.
Because
No, I get you. Yeah.
like unless I start making like money or like something, because I don't feel like not many people my age would like be like, oh, you do comedy. They'll be like, oh, you do comedy.
Yeah. Tell us a joke. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Gareth, from when you started, you mentioned not having a persona on stage. How has your set or your stage persona evolved since then, and how did it evolve?
I was doing what I did normal, and I was nervous when I started as well. Like, and I used that for some of my jokes, like when my hands were shaking a lot, and I was like, oh, you got to learn never to shake your hands too much, you know, in public. And then I did a thing where I put it in my pants, like that's why, you know.
Yeah.
And then but then that sort of carried, and I was like, how can I use this nervous energy as a way of trying to do it, because what I'm doing is bombing every single time. And then I tried doing like deadpan. So I'd seen some Stephen Wright, and I was like, oh, I'll try deadpan. I'll just do it this way. And everyone still hated me. And then I was like more like sort of watching a lot of Emo Phillips and stuff, and I thought, okay, I'll move into this. So I sort of was trying to sort of do that sort of style,
It's like a trial and error kind of thing,
and sort of moving it in. And then, I mean, I don't even know if I've got my persona down packed yet. Like, I still think I'm working on it. I'm still going through how to do it, because I think there's definitely been a thing where I have my autistic type of nature, and it comes natural to me, funnily enough, on stage. So that is part of me when I'm on. I move that direction, and that comes through the nerves.
Yeah.
But I don't want to come off too far in that direction. And a lot of people have pointed it out to me. They point out the movie Tropic Thunder, I think it is, where the guy was like, you don't want to go too retarded, you know? And that's where I do go. Like, you don't want to cross that line. You've got to try to find that right line.
Yeah.
And then I've also found that, with my persona, like, people just don't like it. There are some people that just are like, ooh, what is this? But then I can go elsewhere, and everybody's like, my word, this is amazing. Like, you're so great. That was so original.
Yeah. Well, so
it's like I'm trying to find that audience, but I want to try to keep that audience.
Yeah.
And when we do open mics, we can't do that, because you're doing it to a range of people who are coming from different backgrounds. They're not expecting a certain type of comedian, so there might only be a percentage of people that are into that.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
There's something like admirable. First of all, anyone that has a persona that stands out quite a bit as well. Like, it's pretty admirable to know to stick with it and find your audience, no matter the open mic structure, no matter if it's a gong show or if it's a Fremantle Comedy Factory. Like, the people that do that will go, I'll do this consistently enough. My audience will then come to see me knowing what they're going to get. They're going to come to see me. So it's like, as opposed to, you know, giving an audience what they want and just trying to fit in with the rest of the open micers until you're at a level where then you can now present, you know, your polished stage persona.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's great, it's admirable. And then, so what was there a nervousness on your end to bring Aimi in? The kind of jokes that people are telling, the kind of personalities that are there, the environment.
So I've definitely realised, and it's definitely something that I definitely don't want people to relate us on.
Okay.
Like, it's if I'm introduced as her father, and she's doing quite inappropriate jokes for her age in some respects, automatically people are thinking, ooh, how did she learn that? Or how, and it just really, it spoils my show for sure.
Yeah.
And it's not an overall good look.
And vice versa as well, I guess. Like if
Yeah.
you're going on and doing like dark stuff, and the audience might be going, "His daughter's here," like
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get the separation.
Yeah,
The need to sort of feel like you need to separate that. Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So, and how was it when you came in? Was it like overwhelming? Just not even getting on stage, but just getting amongst the other comics.
Well, at first I was like quite quiet because I didn't really. It's like, oh, there's a bunch of adults I don't know. Should I just like stick around my dad? But like now I'm starting to know some like other comedians.
Yeah.
Like, cause I'm seeing them more often. Like when I go to gigs. But yeah, it's quite nerve-wracking at first. But
Well, you're doing extremely well. Like my son is 12, and he's a knack for like coming up with punchlines just in conversation. He finds little twists and turns, and he'll add it. And I'm like, dude, and typically like kids, it's funny when they're not trying to be funny.
Yeah.
You know, it's when they try and be funny, and they're like, was that funny? And you're like, no.
Yeah.
But like to be able to be at that age and where you'd be like, he'd be nervous. He would want to do it, but he's like, I'd be too nervous. And then that just closes it off in your mind. You know, and like adults as well. I'd be too nervous. Never going to do it. So like to overcome that at any age is huge. It's great. So Amy, what does like a typical writing session for you look like? Like, are you coming up with things? Are you just your antennas up, or you?
so sometimes it'll just be like random stuff. Say that happens at school. I'll be like, Dad, can you believe this happened at school? And then like I'll ask him for help a lot sometimes with jokes, but then I've came up with quite a fair bit myself, and yeah, I just got to test them out and see if it works.
That's such a professional comedian answer.
Why don't you run them through the pegging one?
Okay. So
Because that was an interesting one, because you wrote that,
yeah, well, I didn't really write it. I just like
but you took
I
the
had an idea and then said it.
Mm.
So basically, I was at my volleyball competition, like with my friends, and we have this game. Yeah, it's an actual game, and we basically put pegs on each other
Right.
and like on each other's hair and stuff. But I didn't really know what it actually was, saying pegging. So me and my friends would go up to like our dads and go like, she just pegged me. And then I was like, I even pegged Mr. Francis. And then my dad was like, no, you can't be saying that. And then in the car, he gave me the Urban Dictionary because I was like going around saying that I pegged Mr. Francis.
That's great. But then who was it like that would make a great story? It's a legitimate, true thing that happened at school. Whose idea was
I didn't raise it as a joke.
Yeah.
I was laughing.
Yeah.
So that was just in the car, and that was conversation. And then I think about a week later, we were at Cap Off Comedy at the Basildine, and she had another set together. And then she came, Dad, do you reckon like if I got up there and said, have you guys ever been pegged? How do you reckon they'll react? And I said, well, I don't know, because you just don't know with comedy. Like, how do you react to it? You don't know.
I think I do remember seeing this bit at Leaderville.
And then she just
went up and said, have you guys ever been pegged?
That's great.
It worked.
And it worked. Yeah, I remember seeing this bit at Leaderville. And it's like, it's because it's such a, not jarring, but it's because it's such a confronting sentence to hear off the bat from someone your age as well. It does create a bit of a, yeah. And then the innocence that follows of like the innocence from your point of view, which is great because it's this like juxtaposition between what the audience knows it to be and what it is through your eyes. It's a great bit. Yeah. What about yourself in terms of material? How are you, obviously as we get older and stuff, like, and not older, but like get more experience in the industry, I feel like you have this like comedy antenna that you're just like waiting to accept things?
Starting to, but I still find it very hard to write.
So do you yourself to do writing sessions?
I do.
Yeah.
So when I started, I was just writing what I could without any concept of structure or anything, which is, I feel like she's light years ahead because I've been able to show her some structure.
Yeah.
But I didn't know about the comedic structures and things. Like I didn't think about why things were funny
Yeah.
or anything. It was just I'm just going to try and go with it.
Yeah.
But then as I was doing it, I'd be watching YouTube videos, and you'll see people like Jerry Corley online.
Yeah, the joke doctor.
And there's a few others around as well. And I'd start piecing together how they were writing the structures. And over time, I've realised that the best way to get the comedic juices running has been to use the listing technique.
Yeah.
So you'll start writing. I'd pull out random words from a random word generator online if I can't think of anything or I've got nothing to start with.
Yeah.
And then I'd just write words on that.
Yeah.
By doing that, doesn't necessarily come up with a good joke, but I would often find that I'd write these lists, I'd write another list on something else and try to just juxtapose where those
Compare and
words
contrast
are and create something from that.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I get something out of it, sometimes nothing. But what would actually happen is by me doing that, then I'll be out and about the next day and something pops in my head that I've seen.
Yeah.
Usually when I don't have a pen or anything with me. But because I've done the exercises, it gives you that little bit of that thought process to get something, and then you try to get it down, or you get home as quick as you can so that you can get it down before you forget.
I will often be like texting.
Yeah.
Like writing down.
So that is a lot of the better jokes have come when I wasn't trying to write.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I don't ever do times where I sit there and try to write, I get nothing.
Well, I'm almost exactly the same. This water's here for you guys as well.
Thank you.
I'm exactly the same. I haven't really been writing much recently in the last couple of months since I've been running this. But when I would do the same thing, and I found what I like Jerry Corley as well. Mark Norman does like every podcast. He goes on and does like writing sessions with people.
Yeah.
But I did the same thing with the list, comparing and contrast, and it wasn't to find a joke. It was just for the exercise of it, just to try and look at two dissimilar things and see if I can make a connection. And you're right, because then you're out in the world and your brain starts doing this out of habit. So now, and it's great with my son being the age that he is at 12, or I'll do most of the school pickups and drop-offs.
Yeah.
And I'll do the dad joke stuff, puns and whatever, but I'm looking around at, cars in front of me, signs, whatever, and see if I can make a double meaning out of it or something. And it normally works because he's like, ugh. That's how you know you've written a joke.
But I think my favourite structure is the reverse. With like the Anthony Jeselnik reverse. Yeah. And I do love them, but I've realised you can't use them all the time. Like it needs to be like one every 5 jokes, something like that. Because if you do reverse and then reverse, it becomes predictable.
Yeah. And you can also see it in other people's acts. Like Mark Norman does that a lot. He goes like, "Oh, that wouldn't work if it was the opposite way," and then you can see that you can almost see that he's written it.
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld is the same way. Like his stuff is so over the top, polished, syllable by syllable, that you can almost see it written down on paper. His book up there, Is This Anything? Which is
whose book's that?
Seinfeld's book.
Oh yeah.
So that's his every joke he's ever written. In order that he's written it, from like the 60s to recently, and you can really see that he's separated things into syllables and to like he's shortened words that don't need to be so long, and it's like a very polished, structured thing. But when you're watching those on stage, it also has that appearance where it's like this feels very written, and Adam Bloom talks about how the audience should feel like they're having a conversation with you or you're having a conversation with them for the first time. How do you feel about crowd work? Do you ever do crowd work?
I very rarely have done crowd work. The easiest things that I've done when people have wanted me to do crowd work was to do would you rathers and then come up with 2 really inappropriate things. But it's not really my thing.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
It's improv. And I did when I started an improv. I did one term of it. I think one of the courses with one of the mobs called Only the Human. I think they were called. And I found it very hard. like improv for me is way harder than normal structured stand-up comedy because they really have to come up with stuff on the spot all the time, and that's what crowd work is coming up. If someone yells something and you answer something, it might not be funny. You haven't had a chance to test it.
Yeah.
I suppose, like, by improving your comedic brain through these structures, that eventually, you know, your answer is going to come really quick. But I don't know. I'm so scared of it.
Me too.
Me
too. I wouldn't say I'm scared, but I'm like I avoid it. And then whenever I do ask the audience a question, it's a hypothetical. Anyone go to a private school? Yeah, show of hands. And then I use that to jump to the next bit. But I do think that just you talking to the audience is like a novelty for them. So if you make fun of them, and even if it's not that funny, I feel like the audience laughs anyway.
I have tiny bits in the set. I think there's a bit where I yell, "Give us a yell, any men in the room who suffer from erectile dysfunction." It's normally met with silence, which is what I was targeting. So, but it's hard to know.
Yeah,
you still got. I have that prepared.
Yeah,
I am interacting with them, and I might get some sort of answer back, and I've got to be able to sort of do something. So I have like 3 or 4 different answers depending on what they might come up with, just in case.
That's a clever way of preparing for crowd work, is by having responses off the cuff. And what about you? Do you think you lean towards doing crowd work at all, or are you trying to avoid it as well?
I don't. I'm gonna try to avoid it, but
you've only just started.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
How do you know?
If you can get good at it, I guess off the bat, it's a good thing to be good at. I think the more open mics you do, and the less nervous you get about just being on stage, the more you start to treat crowds as what they are, which is like open mic crowds, which is like market research.
Yeah.
Which is like, I remember I had a friend come and see me the other night at Fremantle's Comedy Factory. He was the guy sitting in the front row, bald guy.
Oh yeah.
He was asking me about it. He's like, I feel like you've started this comedy out of nowhere and you're doing fairly well. I'm like, yeah, surprisingly, I feel like someone's playing a prank on me, you know. But anyway, he was talking about he was asking me about bombing, and he was like, so like, do you ever try anything on stage and it doesn't work? I'm like, yeah, all the time. And he's like, what do you do? I'm like, well, you just kind of go, all right, cool. I'll change something around there and alter it and go to another room with another night and see if it works. And he goes, that sounds awful. He's like, so you just get up there and say something and it doesn't work. I'm like, that was my hang up about starting. It was like, I couldn't get over that part of my brain of like getting on stage, saying something to people and them not responding the way I want, and then me having to deal with that. Have you ever had any, not negative feedback, but have you ever had a joke go flat or bomb or anything where you're like, ugh?
Yeah. Like a few times, but I just cut it out from the set or change it.
Yeah.
But like nothing that the crowd's gone like completely like silent.
Yeah, yeah.
There's been a few times where there's gonna be one person in the crowd going, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
When you first think about how bad it could be, when it actually happens, you're like, all right, that's not that bad, you know.
It's pretty bad. I've had some pretty bad. She hasn't had anywhere near anything as bad as I've had on a
Have you had some
occasions.
heckles?
Hey?
Have you had some heckles?
From heckle point of view, I can't really. I have had them, but you know, the normal "your shit." I've had that. You know, I don't care about that. But I would rather have people heckling me than sitting at me in complete silence, almost like, "Is he okay? Should we call the police?" Or you know, like which I've had. Yeah, I've had some pretty bad. I've had a few. I've had a lot of bad ones.
Yeah, there was one where he came right after me at ECC.
Yeah.
Because I was doing some pretty messed up jokes about him. Yeah. And then he comes on straight after me.
Yeah. And they introduce you as your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone's just sitting in the crowd like looking back at me.
Yeah.
And going,
sirens start going.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to be introduced as her father.
Have you
not
had?
that, not that I'm not proud of my daughter
Yeah, no,
or anything.
yeah.
It just doesn't suit the persona.
Have you mentioned to the room runners that you'd like to keep that?
Yeah.
Moving
Separate now?
forward, I'll be telling
Yeah.
them all as well as I go.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's something they need to be aware of.
You become more aware of it once you do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because I guess there is like I don't want to use the word novelty, but it does stand out. You're like, it's an interesting factoid here. We've got a comedian who's a dad whose daughter is doing comedy as well.
Yeah.
So it's
It's
like
too real.
It's real, yeah.
Whereas Tabo goes on after her
Yeah.
and can go, and every single time he'll go. In fact, how good was Amy?
Yeah.
We met in the gym. It gets a big laugh every
Yeah.
single time. But yeah, if I try to do something similar, it's like, oh
Yeah.
shit.
Well, I have a similar thing about I'm trying to not clean up, but like figure out what the audience wants from me, right? Or how they see me. So I had a couple of things about like cheating on my wife, and it doesn't. They do okay as like you said, as a typical structured joke.
But you look like a church pastor. So.
But that's right. So I don't. So I don't look like the kind of guy who would. If I do want to lean into how audiences are receiving me.
Yeah. So from your perspective, you're coming across as an authentic person.
Yeah, that's right.
And therefore, you need to make sure that the material matches that authentic person.
Yeah, the authenticity of what I'm talking about.
Whereas I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
I don't want people to really think that I am married with a kid.
Yeah. So after gigs, like say after like a comedy lounge set, any audience members come up and ask you anything or talk to you, give you any feedback?
I get lots of feedback.
Yeah.
Like, I have people coming up to me saying, "Are you really 13?" Which, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not lying.
I am.
And was there any hesitation from room runners to book yourself, or was it okay because you're there? Any hesitation?
Because I've been there around the scene.
Yeah.
They haven't had any issues.
Yeah, cool.
They have to, obviously she has to have an adult with her.
Yeah.
In any of the clubs that she goes to.
No, I'm asking for myself as well because if my son ever does want to do it, then
before they're, I think it's 6. I'm not sure if it's 16 or 18, but they have to have an adult with them. I've also had a booker message me saying that if Amy wants to bring any of her friends, great, but each one needs to have their own parent with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of context, that's a very creepy thing for a room runner to say. I'm happy for her to bring any of her friends along to her.
Just
As long as their parents are there.
yeah, but they have to have their parents with them. Yeah.
Have you done a gong show yet?
Yep.
And how was that?
I won.
That's awesome. That's
It's
fantastic.
the first and only one, though.
That's great. Have you ever taken out like any of the top 3 spots of gong? I feel like you did win. Didn't you win?
I haven't won the gong since they moved it from $100 for winning to $350.
Right.
So it's a long time ago.
The stakes are too high.
And the last time I've had money in it is almost 2 years ago. It's just gone downhill.
Well,
I had a short period of time where I was like top 3, for a number of weeks.
Great.
Or fourth a lot actually.
So are you like on that then? If you're doing that well, are you self-aware enough and able to critique yourself enough to, in a positive light, to go, I think people like me because of this. Like I think I do well because X, Y, and Z.
Well, I've tried to do that and gone backwards, so I don't know. It's so hard to actually work it out, but I do critique it and now try to work it out why. And then I actually think some people have seen you as well. So if you then go do the same jokes that worked then, they go, he's doing the same jokes all the time.
Yeah, I know. That's it is
which
hard.
Is what you do.
Yeah, it is the hard thing in this industry. I'm much more aware of other comics hearing my set over and over and over again, sitting at the back, than I am concerned about the audience having seen it before. So every time when I know that there's all the comedians are sitting at the back and they're going, oh, he's doing the pedophile bit again. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the threesome bit again. All right, cool. And you know,
I think
that's in the back of my
we've
head.
got to not worry
Yeah.
about what the other comedians think
Yeah.
because you're running your own race.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
the people that matter are the audience, and probably the bookers to some extent.
Yeah.
You want to impress them.
Because you were, you came in last year, was it? Finalist of Raw?
Yeah, I was
Like state finalist.
I was in the state final of Raw. Yeah,
Yeah.
Had an amazing set.
That's
It was,
great. Yeah.
really good. I think actually it's probably the Raw final at the Rekka It was probably the best gig I've ever had.
That's great.
It was just like this thunderous laughter
Yeah.
for every joke, start to finish. I think I did about 3.5 minutes of normal material,
Yeah.
but it lasted the whole 5.
Yeah.
It was
And
so good. I love that.
I'm not sure if there's any age restrictions or limits on competitions for yourself, but are you looking to compete as well?
I want to do some competitions,
Yeah.
but really it depends on my mum because apparently during school nights or like during the school term, I'm not really allowed to do comedy,
Oh, right.
which is unfortunate.
Mm.
But hopefully I'm going to do some open mics.
Yeah.
And if my mum sees this, can I please do some more?
But
We'll clip
generally, like for Raw comedy, she's too young.
Yeah.
For Next Gen, she's too young.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing because that's your next generation.
Yeah. Well,
But-
Nola won the
We're not going to comment about her age, right?
I was like, I say it, I'm like, good on her for winning because I came in after her, came in second. I had some people in the audience. She didn't bring a single person and came in and took our first spot.
Yeah.
She did it with like she had lost her voice. She had like laryngitis or something. She kills it no matter where she is, but she did well. But yeah, you're right. It is meant to be Next Gen. But at least you're getting like when it's time for competing time. I feel like you'll kill it because you have all this like prep time.
I did the class clowns, but I was still too young to win the class clowns,
Because you had to be 14 by April.
Yeah.
which was unfortunate.
So
But
then-
she can do that next year.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, hopefully, like I mean,
But she
obviously,
needs to clean up her material. She can't do
can't-
some of the jokes that she
Yeah, you
does
gotta go
in
clean.
adult clubs.
I think if you can take your existing material and make it clean, then that's like the sign of like good, really good material. You know what I mean? Where because like I have stuff that I'm like, I can't say that. You know, there's certain jokes I can't say in certain clubs. And I'm like, if it's just a matter of taking a swear word out, it's easy enough to take a swear word out. But if it's the whole bit that's like a terrible premise, terribly adult premise, then you got to drop the whole thing. It's much easier to be able to write something for the masses. Not easier, I shouldn't say.
It's not easy.
It's not easier. It's much harder, but it's better. You know, look at like Nate Bargatze, who's like squeaky clean.
Yeah.
But then is there any plans to do like a fringe father and daughter thing? I feel like that could no plans at all. No.
People have offered us to do even like roast battles and stuff, but I don't know how to roast anyway. But I don't think it'd be that funny.
I definitely don't want to do a roast battle with her.
No, I thought it'd be.
will definitely come across as a pedophile.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Asterisk. He's not.
Don't
No, that's cool. I was wondering if there was ever something that, like, as you both progress, you know, that it could come up down the line. But I guess.
No, I might just quit and be the manager.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't
cool.
mind that.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
It's squish, like, you know, factoring in school and making sure it all fits in and around. All that is, definitely the way to go. It also makes things harder for you. You know.
I think she's definitely going to get opportunities come the fringe. A lot of people have really enjoyed or made contact with me that they've enjoyed what she does.
Yeah.
So not so much myself.
Yeah.
I'd like them to want me to do things, but everyone's like, "Oh, can I? How about Amy?" She became the one that everybody
She's
wants.
the breakout.
Out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah.
She's the breakout. It's like a TV show when like they bring in someone like Urkel, you know, he becomes like the breakout star,
Yeah,
and the rest of the family don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So what's have you got any other gigs coming up? Have you got any shows coming up?
I haven't got any shows. The only shows that I've been, the proper shows that are not open mics, have always been someone else has organised it, and I've just sort of been part of it.
Yeah, cool.
So I'm in Bali next week, so I'm going to do a couple of open mics over there, which is cool. I like the idea of going somewhere and seeing how a different type of audience will react to weird stuff that I do.
Yeah.
But I've also written a couple of jokes about Bali, so I'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
And then when I come back, I think that week I'll do like a Fluffy Duck open mic, and then on the weekend I think is Father's Day, and I think I'll be doing Bad Dads at the court in Fremantle.
Yeah.
And then I have some other stuff after, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I've got to look at my calendar.
Yeah, nothing really booked in for me either, except for just the odd booked in gig here and there. Doing roasters this weekend, doing Lockie's Room on Wednesday, and Windmill is on the same day as roasters. So I generally don't like going from one to another. Like I feel like I got to be at one and stay at one.
Yeah.
I'm getting him in. But thank you so much for joining me, for being my first pair of guests. Well done, Amy, for starting out. How many gigs have you done now?
Over 10.
Yeah. And doing fantastic.
Something like that.
Doing
I've
fantastic.
done over 10 as well.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. But thank you. Have a good trip to Bali. I'll see you around the traps at the open mics if I see you both. Yeah. Thank you. And tune in next week. See you then.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.